we're going to say good evening to everybody, and thank you for coming. And I guess Reverend Dumas ordered some beautiful weather because that's what we got. My name is Alex Habersham, and I, along with my good friend and cohort here, Wes Griffith, were the co-chairs for the phenomenal event, the Bicentennial celebration, and we want to thank you for coming. And want to, everything starts with an idea, and so this was an idea originally conceived by the mayor, and he called on Wes and myself to kind of head up the committee because we didn't do everything. We were just part of the process, and there was a lot of work involved. And we just want to welcome you. What a phenomenal day. It's a great day in Macon, Georgia. I know the mayor's going to get it for taking this line, but it is. So I want to introduce my friend and cohort, Wes, who will have a few words to say, and we will be your MCs for the event. Wes, let's give him a hand.
Yeah, I'd like to say thank you to all the others that served on the Bicentennial Committee with us. I see a lot of you here. And like Alex said, everything starts with an idea. And when we first got together, our big idea, the first thing we said we wanted to do was have a signature project. And pretty quickly we figured out that we wanted to do some sort of park. And, it worked out really well. You'll hear a little bit more about the process tonight, but this marks the end of a long process, and I'm glad that it's finally here, and we're so excited to share it with you today.
Thank you. When Reverend Dr. Derek Dumas was born and educated in Macon, Georgia, and serves as the pastor of Great Elizabeth Baptist Church right here in East Macon. This church has been roots in this community since 1870. As one of the oldest historically black congregations, we invite Reverend Dr. Dumas up here for an invocation marking the occasion of this park. Reverend?
Shall we pray? Eternal and gracious God in heaven, how excellent is your name. We thank you today for this gracious opportunity for us to come and to gather as neighbors and as friends and as members of this great community. We're so grateful for this plot of ground that we are now standing, and we're grateful for all that has gone into developing this land and creating this wonderful space for our community and for all of humanity. We ask now your blessing upon this event, and we ask your blessing upon this ground on which we are standing. But we pray now that in many years to come, many will come, many will rejoice and enjoy the peace and the tranquility of this land. Thank you for our entire community, and thank you for giving us a mind and a heart to come together. We ask your continued blessing upon our leadership and upon all of those who shall make further decisions for our community. We love you now, and we thank you now, and ask your blessing in thine precious Son's name we do pray. Amen.
So we're going to talk a little bit about another committee member in the Bicentennial Committee, Tracy Rivas. And when Tracy Rivas was asked to be on the Bicentennial Committee, she was a new Maconite, having lived in this community for less than a year. But as a citizen of the Muskogee Nation, her heritage and roots here go back far, more than 200 years, and far more than 200 years. And her work as an advocate has been integral towards the goal of securing a national park designation for the Oakmulgee Mounds, which you can enter just over that way. I believe that's going to be the new entrance once we do get the park up and running. She served as the chair of the park committee and was heavily involved in selecting the artwork and programming. We're going to have Tracy come up here and give a land acknowledgement and discuss the vision and artwork for the park.
Boston, Yujiha, Went A, Kada, Tracy Rivas, SAT. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us as we celebrate the opening of the Bicentennial Park, an important milestone in our community's 200-year story. This park sits at the base of the Okmulgee Mounds along the Okmulgee River, where my ancestors lived and where the original neighborhood of Macon took root. This land holds centuries of stories and traditions, and today we honor that history by adding a new chapter. So let us begin with the official Bibb County land acknowledgement. The government and citizens of Macon-Bibb County respectfully acknowledge the Muskogee, Yujiha, Zoyaha people who lived, worked, produced knowledge on, nurtured the land now known as Macon, Georgia. In 1821, the Muskogee people were forced to relinquish this land. We recognize the sustained oppression, land dispossession, and involuntary removals of the indigenous peoples from Macon, from Georgia, and from the Southeast. The government of Macon-Bibb seeks to honor the Muskogee Creek Nation and other indigenous caretakers of this land by humbly seeking knowledge of the histories, committing to respectful, continued stewardship of this land. And as we mark this milestone, it is important to lift up the mission of the Macon Bicentennial Committee, whose work has helped guide the creation of this park. The committee seeks to strengthen civic pride by educating our community about our history, celebrating our accomplishments, acknowledging our past, and promoting a harmonious future. Bicentennial Park embodies that mission. It is a living space where our stories can be shared, where our lessons can be learned, and where our future can be shaped together. As a committee, we wanted the art in this space to be deeply meaningful and to be reflective of the Macon history. To achieve that, we hosted an open call for the artists. All submissions were scored anonymously to ensure fairness and focused solely on the strength of each concept. From there, we invited the highest scoring artists to advance and to submit full proposals. We then held private interviews to discuss their visions in depth, to understand how their work connected to our history and explore how it could speak to Macon's future. Ultimately, we awarded the commissions to Castro Solano, The Living Story of Macon, Elion Averbunch for the piece Even Walls Can Move, behind me, to Kenneth Johnson for his work Mother Ground or Ichki, to our local artists Alexis Gregg and Tanner Coleman for the Column of Change, and to Lynn Whitaker for our wind designs behind us. Each installation brings a unique perspective, honoring the past while inspiring reflection and dialogue for generations to come. Bicentennial Park was envisioned as a place for reflection, reconciliation, and connection. At the heart of this space are these art installations, intentionally designed to reflect our bicentennial theme and encourage visitors to pause, observe, and appreciate the stories woven into our community's past and future. These works invite us to not just move through the park, but to engage with it, to see ourselves in it, and to find meaning in the narratives that they represent. Today's opening represents collaboration across many partners, community members, local leaders, artists, and visionaries who poured their time and their hearts into this project. To all who contributed your expertise, your feedback, your advocacy, your passion, and yes, your financial support, we say thank you. This is your park and your legacy. As we stand here at the start of the Bicentennial Park's next chapter, let this space inspire us. Let it remind us of our responsibility to the land and to each other. And let this place be where unity grows, where stories continue, and where every person feels welcome. And thank you again for joining us. And I have the deep, deep honor of bringing up an artist whose piece is represented here in the park, Mr. Kenneth Johnson, who is Muskogee and Seminole. He is a jewelry maker. He is a sculptor. I'm actually wearing his pieces today in honor of him being here. But he is a citizen of the Muskogee Creek Nation from the Tocobuchee tribal town, and he's here today with his daughter. And so this is just an honorable moment to have him here back in the homelands, representing and interpreting Macon's history to be a part of the growing future. And with that, Kenneth Johnson.
Thank you for that introduction, Tracy. The land acknowledgement is very important because look at space, look at the place. There's over 100 people here. Inside the sculpture that adorns this park, you'll see a flame. The flame represents people. There's a blue area on that flame that represents the spirits that are here. So we're in an ancient space, but we're here today. You know, if those spirits were able to be here in the physical, this would be an immense gathering. And so the things that you can see are embodied in the physical and the art that we've brought to this space as artists. It's our job to see and to visualize and then bring into the physical the ideas that bring us together, that bring awareness. So in my piece, it's called Ichki. It's spelled in the Muskogee language E-C-K-E. It looks like Eki. It's an Ichki. That C is a C-H. And Ichki means mother. And so this ground is considered a mother ground. And when you look at this sculpture that's made out of Georgia marble, the white color is meant to be a healing stone. It comes from Tate, Georgia. We call it a Muskogee marble. And my oldest daughter, Seneca Johnson, she's a senior at Yale University. She took time out of her studies to draw the face, the woman's face that's on there now. And so the mother ground concept is there to remind us that we come up out of this earth. And there will be a time when that motherhood, it sends out her children. And so the grounds that emanated from this space, from the Okmulgee Mounds right behind us, they gave birth to the children grounds. Those fires that once burned here continue to burn in Oklahoma. There is the return of Muskogee people. We were marched away, but we walked back in a good way. We're bringing the beauty and the art, the spirit, the dances, the songs, and we have a lot to share. A lot has been retained, much has been lost. We understand that, but one of the important elements is that fire. It still burns. One of the elements or essences of a person is we know that there's a spirit inside everything that is animate or inanimate, even the vibration of molecules. For a rock looks stable, but it's still alive. And we know that on that molecular level, it's still vibrating. And so we're bringing that into the physical for you to see. In Muskogee, we call it Ofunga, the spirit that's in everything. And so the earth that's been raised, the wind that still blows into the sculptures behind us, the bricks that move as part of the local economy, the local history that's here. We appreciate all of that, and we move it into the future. We understand that there's been, much trouble in the past, and that's why we look for solutions to bring us to the future. I appreciate the leaders that have come here today to be here in this moment, because you're going to matter for that next step as the next generation comes in, as the people who come back from Oklahoma saying, what have you, did you take care of the land for us? And so I think the gravity of what is here is more than it appears. So in that white marble sculpture is 7.5 tons of Georgia marble that has an imprint. It represents the Okmulgee River looping through here. If you grew up here, I've been on that river in a canoe, gotten to enjoy it, and we want to incorporate not only this time in this space, but we would like to incorporate a canoe journey from the Ocmulgee River, taking local clays. The red paint that's in that sculpture is matched to the paint that our warriors wear when they play stickball, when they go into battle. It's very specific and thought out. What we'd like to do is have a canoe journey down the Ocmulgee River to bring in that clay and have an annual ceremony to touch up the colors on this sculpture. And it makes it current. We'd like to invite you to be a part of that annual ceremony. It's likely it will be in the fall, probably in September around our Indian Nation Days. And we want you to know that there's vision attached to this, that it's ongoing, and it's meant to not only address the spirits that are here, but also the new spirit that can come of this. So keep your eyes peeled, be aware. There's more going on in the background. So while that Georgia marble represents the female mother aspect of this earth, beside me is the male portion of the stickball player. It's a maquette of a 9-foot bronze that will be placed in front of the Georgia marble, and it will represent the male and the female parts of this area. Is meant to be a place to play stickball. Stickball is important because it shows you're alive, you're fighting, you're dueling for a ball that has medicine on it that's considered alive. And so this statue is sculpted after a man named Nichi Gray. He was a World War I veteran, a Muskogee citizen who fought for his nation, he fought for his people, and he had the right to wear the tiger tail. If you look at this sculpture, it's a printed resin sculpture of the 9-foot version that will be here. But on his back is a tiger tail that the people who play stickball in Muskogee, the Muskogee Nation, not the city, they take on the animal that they want to emulate. And the tiger tail is something that was given by the tribe as it showed their spirit. And so all of the details on this warrior, we want that to inspire our people. One of the details of this sculpture and in this park, in this space, is that it faces west. Our people went to Oklahoma. We want a mirror sculpture of this stickball warrior to be facing east, back toward Macon. And we want to cross that divide across time and space so that this ancient warrior is recognized within all of us. In the return of people here, we hope it inspires you. The communities that are built, the churches, the organizations, the people who are taking care of the land and the people, we appreciate you. And I am so grateful to be here today. I brought my daughter, my youngest daughter. This is Sky Johnson. She's helping me do video and get a little current with social media. She keeps me young. And I want to say what an honor it is. It's very exciting as a Muskogee person to come back to this space and see what we can make of today. And let's work for a tomorrow that includes all of us. Mado.
I hope, like I did, that you all feel the significance of those remarks. I tell you, to hear and see and feel reconciliation in today's society and environment is really, really moving. So I hope and pray that you too feel the significance of it. Okay. On to something that's equally as important. And I want to say, and I know that Wes agrees with me, this makes it all worth it. To hear Kenneth speak, to have the support of the committee, to bring to fruition the idea of the mayor, to have citizens and donors here to celebrate this momentous occasion really makes us feel good. But there are a lot of people who played a significant role in what you see here. I want to thank Kenneth. Thank you again, man. Thank you so much for those long remarks. Wimberley Treadwell has been the landscape architect behind transformative park and public spaces projects like Cotton Avenue Plaza. So it's no surprise that site has the designer of this park. But there's one other special reason. The signature project of the Bicentennial celebration in 1923 was the installation of the city auditorium. So we had a pretty tall order because 100 years ago, you know, that committee, for the 100-year anniversary, they built the city auditorium. You know, so that was something pretty hard to compete with. So, but excuse my language, but I feel we've done good with this park here. One of the architects was P.E. Dennis, Wimberley's great-grandfather. Mr. Dennis was the architect for the city auditorium, so the legacy still lives in part. 100 years later, she has designed this beautiful bicentennial signature project. Talking about special features of the park to her and future installations, Miss Wimberley Treadwell will talk about all of those things. Wimberley.
Well, this is wonderful. I'm so happy to see all of you here and to see this park finished. You cannot imagine the time by so many people that has gone into the creation of this beautiful place. The park is a symbol of what can be achieved through community collaboration. It's the creation and testament of the dedicated and countless number of individuals that work together to collect a community vision for a beautiful park. Wes reached out to me, as Alex said, and he talked about a bicentennial park, and I went, well, I'm in because my great-grandfather was the architect for the Centennial Project. So I've dedicated my time and hopefully help pull visions and people and collaborations together. The vision for the park has been shaped by numerous people. There have been committees, there have been contractors, artists. It's been a wonderful, wonderful process of collaboration. We stumbled, we stalled over one key element. How do you tell 200 years of history in a park? We researched carefully traditional methods, markers, plaques, stones, you've all seen them. But the sheer volume of Macon's historic narrative made it impossible to encapsulate everything within this park. It was decided that art would serve as the heart of the park. Alex Morrison authored a project statement reflecting Macon's past and future, which was used to solicit art proposals nationally and internationally. I think you've already heard the quality of the submissions was exceptional. And what we received from the artists back, as Kenneth has so eloquently said, is that they put their spirit and heart into this park as well. The wind sculptures are by Lemon Whitaker, and they honor Kay Gerhardt. They are at the highest point of the park, and they're always moving. The Column of Change by Tanner Coleman and Alexis Gregg spent years on the Atlanta Beltline, but the sculptures found its permanent home here in the park. I hope you'll take a look at it. Alexis and Tanner bend the boundaries on how you use brick to create art. It is truly beautiful, and it's a reminder of the fluidity of our shared experience. The artist's statement encourages viewers to live with empathy and approach change with curiosity and grace. You've heard about Kenneth's beautiful piece. The open field behind in this park mirrors the dimensions of these stickball fields, so it serves as a symbolic and functional tribute. Even Walls Can Move by Ilian Arvuk is a powerful sculpture that embodies Macon's complex history through materials and form. Brick, central to Macon's industrial and architectural identity, represents both literally and figuratively walls that have divided our community. The steel figures in the piece symbolize our collective movement toward inclusion and justice. I think it's just beautiful. What's to come on this plaza that you're standing on is panels, poured in steel panels by Casto Solano. Casto Solano is from Spain. He leads a family team of artists that produce sculpture worldwide. For Bicentennial Park, they're creating poured in steel panels that will have cutout images. The images will be visible when you approach the panels, but the images will also, because they're cut out, reflect with the sun angles. So the shape of this plaza was created using studies of the sun angles and where the shadows fall. It should be beautiful. It should be beautiful, and it's the last piece. Bicentennial Park, as it's been said many times, is built on historic ground. It's designed to be open and available to everyone. The park includes shade and flowering trees for enjoyment, pecans and figs for future generations, and sculptures throughout the park invite visitors to reflect on their own past and look forward with hope to the future. Thank you to all the donors. Thank you to all the contractors, to all the committees, to all the collaborators. Thank you.
Thank you, Wimberly. Wimberly worked so hard on this project. She donated so much of her time to make sure this project came to fruition, and the results are amazing. Thank you, Wimberly. Give it up for her one more time. I'd also like to read. I'd also like to thank all the donors who I believe are all listed in the program. But also, when we unveiled this dedication stone to my left, it will also recognize all the Bicentennial committee members, as well as all of the donors that made this park possible. I'd also like to thank Ms. Jenny Jones there in the back. She worked so tirelessly to help secure the funds for this park, and also everyone else on the Bicentennial committee. You've probably heard a lot about connectivity of different projects on this area of town and to downtown in this park. But over a decade ago, very few people were looking at this area as a cornerstone of progress, but the Urban Development Authority was. Acquiring this land and beginning their Mill Hill East Macon-Bibb Village Project neighborhood revitalization. Now we're going to bring up head of the Urban Development Authority, Mr. Alex Morrison, and he will tell you more about the investment in this area and how the UDA has helped make it happen.
There's a song, and they call it The Quiet Storm. Well, I think that applies to Alex Morrison. Unassuming guy, but does phenomenal work. And so I just wanted to publicly thank him, along with the mayor, for all that he does for this community. And I appreciate the opportunity because he's got the right name.
Thank you for that, and I'll be as brief as I can, as I know, recognize we have dying light. So yes, as they said, in 2013, the Urban Development Authority was given a challenge by the late Lonzie Edwards and Chairman of the County Commission, Sam Hart, to do something to revitalize this portion of East Macon. They invested funds for us to begin acquiring the land that we're on now, which would become a park, and the housing that's behind us to provide a spark of revitalization here. And we were very eager to find what the right project would be. Like any good community project, the first thing that we did as the Urban Development Authority and our close partner, the Macon Arts Alliance, was to listen to the people who were here. The people, and not by calling a public meeting, but by knocking on doors and asking people what would make their lives better. You may not guess the first thing that they said. It wasn't a park. It was the traffic light right there at Clinton Street. So we worked with GDOT to make sure that traffic light got put in, and there's actually a crosswalk across Coliseum Drive so people can connect into downtown. And then the second thing they asked for was this park. The reason they asked for a park was that the neighborhood park that used to be on this side is now part of Mulligan Mounds National Historical Park. And so we wanted to work to find a way to bring that park back. It can be a community space for people to reunite with their own history and provide a healthful place for people to meet. And we didn't know what that vision would ultimately be, but we were lucky to be in the right place at the right time for the Bicentennial to bring a park that all of us can be proud of to life. We're really excited about that investment and what all of that means. The Mill Hill East Macon Arts District, as you see behind you, is now fully occupied. It was less than 10% occupied when we started this project, 0% homeowner occupied. Now there are 11 new homeowners who own property there, putting $1.1 million back on our Macon-Bibb tax rolls, and providing a beautiful spot, a spark of revitalization for this side of the community. A lot of people played a huge role in all of that, making sure that this project can come to life. I mentioned before our former board chair, Bob Lewis, who's instrumental in acquiring property here, Chris Sheridan, who provided the vision, Jan Beelan, who is the true visionary of the Mill Hill project, without whom none of this would have happened, and Kay Gerhardt, our chair, who spearheaded the art installation, and Jan is our chair now, still overseeing this project. And we're grateful for the investment that Macon and Bibb County have put into us to bring this project to life and work with our citizens to do it. And in closing, I'll say, why did we do any of this? This is a piece of land. It's the original part of Macon. This is where Macon started. It's on the east side of the river. And it has been telling our story from before there was a Macon to now. It has told the story of our division. It's told of our being torn apart, of disinvestment, but of progress, of the textile industry that was here. Every bit of Macon's history is told right here on this patch of earth. And for us to make good on everything that we're doing, we've got to keep that process of healing alive with projects like this, with projects that we're doing all across our community. And I saw a student who's unfortunately left who had a shirt that sparked a wonderful quote from one Mr. Benjamin Andre. Said, "The South got something to say." This piece of earth has been teaching human history for 17,000 years. Let's keep it going now.
Now, finally, and before we bring up our honorable mayor, I want to mirror West's expression and thanking the committee. Everybody worked hard. I don't see Dennis. She was back there, but she was absolutely phenomenal. Raise your hand, Dennis. You know, in supporting the fundraising. She did a phenomenal job along with several other people. And I would be remiss, frankly, if we didn't mention Julie Morrison, who was responsible for not only pulling this together, but the marketing. She did an absolutely phenomenal job. And so I guess you call that MC privilege. So, and it was such a joy to work with Wes. You know, we have become good friends as a result of our working on this commission. As a matter of fact, he bought me lunch yesterday or the day before. It was his place though, so at the Rookery. Okay, now finally we will bring the Macon-Bibb County Mayor, the Honorable Lester Miller, who appointed the Bicentennial committees and supported the vision for our signature project, for his official remarks and to cut the ribbon for this momentous occasion of 200 plus years of Macon history. Mayor Miller.
All right. All I can say is when we started this program, when Alex started speaking, the sun was up. The sun is now down, which I don't know if he just spoke too long or just typical Alex fashion, but certainly, have you ever had those moments? And I promise I'm gonna be on script in just a second because I'll talk too long on this. We have many things to do, but you ever had that moment when you didn't know whether to smile or to cry or to laugh or what your emotion was? I mean, I have them all the time, but this is one of those moments where when I listen to the passion coming back home from Oklahoma and welcome home again, you can hear it in the voice, the passion there. You can almost feel the tears. You can hear the tears coming. But I also see some joy of everybody coming together in our community and pulling this type of event together because it takes a lot of work. And we're going to talk about some of those people, but it takes a lot of work to get people on the same page. And I will tell you that there's nothing to do with this particular mayor. There's been people before me who wanted to plan this joyous occasion. A lot of historians put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into making this happen. And I will say that it's very intentional. We want to make sure that every single person in Macon-Bibb County, across the county, every zip code is represented and can have a piece of this park and a piece of the Bicentennial. I know that I'm not worthy to be in this position right now. And but for the grace of God, I could be doing something else. But, 200 years, and I happen to be the mayor at this time, just like you happen to be in those seats that you are at this time. Nothing happens by accident. It's all planned according to His word, and we are here for a special reason. And that reason is taking another step forward today. So I'll get back on script in just a moment. But I wanted to share that with you because this is a special moment. This is about the third ribbon cutting we've had in consecutive days here, and the crowd gets larger and larger, and the community looks like our community that I see out here. And that's something that makes my heart full, and I know it does yours. So you know what I'm going to say, Alex. Again, you already took my words out of my mouth. And it's a great day to be in Macon-Bibb County. It is, especially as we close out a series of events celebrating 200 years in our community. And while, you may say, it's not 2025, it's not our Bicentennial, Mr. Mayor, I think it's worth noting that Macon-Bibb County is kind of extra special, that is, and deserving of extra celebration. We actually had 3 milestones around this time: the creation of our county, the creation of our city, and the creation of our new government, the city and the county. But no matter what year we specify, we now have 200 plus years being a community together. And if we look back to our past, we talked about the Macon City Auditorium. That was part of our centennial, but it wasn't really completed until when? 1925, 100 years ago now. So we have a history of marking our milestones with multi-year celebrations in major projects because we're kind of working. That was our centennial project, and this is our bicentennial project. And that's why I'm proud to stand here before you today and thank the many groups that made this last few years for a time for reflection, for learning, for celebration, and yes, for planning. First, I want to thank our bicentennial co-chairs once again. I don't know how they got to be MCs as well, but Mr. Alex Habersham, Mr. Wes Griffith, for leading our community through the celebrations and finding so many opportunities for us to make this moment special. Your committees and your partners work many hours to pull us together and show us just how far we've come and what we have to look forward to, at least over the next 100 years. Thank you to Tracy Rivas and the committee for this park who saw the vision of what a bicentennial could mean and what to call through our public spaces. Thank you to Jenny Jones once again. She's been mentioned more than anybody else here today. If you know Jenny, she's going to be calling, she's going to be texting, she's going to be showing up on your doorstep. She's going to have a handout, and certainly she's going to leave there with some money, some checks, or some blood or something. But she's going to take care of it. We can't thank you enough to make sure that you did your part here and your part in history. Thank my good friend Karen Lambert and the Peyton Anderson Foundation. I see her back here with their support, not just the creation of this space we have here, but so many projects and so many initiatives that improve the quality of life for our entire community, and we can't thank you enough. To the other partners, the donors that are here today, thank you for helping make this vision a reality, for seeing what a park could mean for not just this area, but like you heard from Mr. Alex Morrison, for our entire community. This is where it started here on the east side on this part of the river. Thank you to Alex Morrison and the Urban Development Authority. Alex, I think you said he was like a quiet stone, but he's a rather big figure, and he's got a big heart, and certainly he doesn't get the credit that he deserves, but he does a lot for this community. We want to thank the Development Authority themselves for their focus in Mill Hill, East Macon Village, and for recognizing the potential of this park to serve as a focal point for reflection of the past, and yet bringing in our new future together. The location wasn't selected by chance or by finding of a vacant space of the right size. It was intentional, that word again, intentional, and fit with the UDA's larger leadership of reconnecting our community through civic places. Bicentennial Park has much more deeper meaning to our past and our future, as we heard today. It sits at the crossroads of our past and our future, on land rich with indigenous history, African American heritage, and the industrial spirit that built our community. With the improvements made with this new life through reactivation, it will be a place for reflection, for reconciliation, where we can honor the stories that shaped us and look forward to the future with hope and with unity. As we begin doing with our public spaces, we're intentional, that word again, about being a space for everyone. That means you and me, our children, our grandchildren. It's located next to our history, next to the rejuvenating neighborhoods of homeowners, by a future site of lofts, stores, across the street from facilities attracting thousands of visitors per year, and connected eventually to trails along the river and throughout our community. It's the center of growth of our strength. Here we are, beginning our march toward 300 years as a community. I'm not sure who of you will be here in the next 100 years, but there are unborn people who have yet to make their mark on Macon, and we look forward to them carrying this legacy on. The past several years, we've looked back at where we came from, and we learned from the past. I learned a lot even today about information I didn't know before. And every day we live is another day we can gain knowledge and learn from it. We work in the moment to meet our current needs. We look to the future of what's coming, and we want it to happen. And we started that work already. And we stand here today to celebrate more than just the park. We celebrate this park as part of our birthplace, as a focal point of our current efforts to come together as one, the starting point for the next 100 years. I'm almost here. So as we cut the ribbon today, as we unveil this marker today, it's more than just the completion of a project for me, and I know it is for many of you. Let it mark the beginning of a new chapter here in Macon-Bibb. The cause of our future is still being written right now as we're here today, and we're just getting started. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for your support. Thank you for everything that you do to make Macon-Bibb County a place that people want to live, work, play, and raise a family. And at this time, I'm going to step over here. We're going to unveil this marker here, and we'll get our communication team to direct those that need to be there in the appointed places. And at one point, we'll recognize everybody and do a ribbon cutting as well. Thank you very much.
bothers me on that side.
I'm good. All right, I'm good. I'm ready when y'all are. Everybody look this way. All right, I'm good.